Alright, new section of notes, or new little title. I'm going to call this notes team notes, because it's going to be talking about teams of dogs. And it's important that right when the dog is born, or a very young pup, there'll be a bond between the dog and the musher. Even an untrained puppy naturally wants to kind of be put into a harness and just pull. It's just a part of their nature. They'll eventually, you're going to want to get them accustomed to wearing that, but it's just something that it's natural to them. It's said that a puppy will never forget what's learned within the first 17 weeks of its life. So it's important to develop that bond. Relationships between dogs and mushers, they're going to obviously strengthened over years by the training, feeding, just living side by side, working side by side, working in a team, and they want to strengthen that bond because they're going to be with these dogs all the time, every day, all day. Training, it's important early on that you get the dog used to training and you train them regularly. Okay, the mushers will make sure immediately that they're getting these dogs running. Just right away, let them run around, just let them run loose, just getting used to just run, chasing each other around, messing around, playing, and eventually they'll get them used to, start getting them to wear a harness and get accustomed to this harness. Once they are accustomed to the harness, which will be about 6 to 9 months, you're going to want to, what the mushers will do is they'll formally maybe introduce them to their teammates and take them on a first trial run, work them around and try to move them into different positions and try to see which one suits them the best. And it's probably going to be crazy the first time they go out, but it's something that they need to do, and they'll finally feel part of a group. Alright. The next part talks about actually hitching them up to a team. So if you take a look at the section on hitching, you already read about hitching them up to the team. But all the dogs, obviously have to be hitched up, and it's a big process. I watched them do it this summer, hooking them all up, and it's not an easy deal. Plus, on top of it, as you're hooking these dogs up, they are so excited and they want to just go. So first of all the dogs are hooked to this line called a gang line, which I'll show you in a minute in the picture. And this gang line is made of either a polypropylene rope or a cable. And the gang line runs, it runs the length of the entire team. It extends from the back of the lead dog, which is at the beginning, all the way back to the sled dog. Okay, the rest of the dogs, okay, so that's, you can see, hold on, let me get that thing, okay, you can see here's the back of the lead dog. Those gang lines go all the way, okay, here would probably be your sled. Those gang lines go that whole length, okay. Now the rest of the dogs are, they run alongside of the gang line and are doubly connected to what they call a neckline. Okay? And so the neckline, here's your neckline, they're attached doubly to the neckline. Okay? And that's attached or connected to the gang line as well. But it's attached to their collar by a tug line, and you can see where the arrows are pointing to the tug line, the gang line, and the neckline, and then the two lead dogs that it's extending all the way back to the sled dogs. Okay, so that's hitching them, hooking them up to the gang line. And we're going to go through the different positions that make up a team. So I want you to make sure you're looking at that section on the different types of the different positions of the dogs. And the dogs are strategically placed along, the route, just like positions in sports. you have point guards in basketball, quarterback in football, so you've got certain positions, and each part is a crucial role. The first one we're going to talk about is the lead dogs, or dogs. These are the easiest to be able to figure out, and easiest to identify, because lead dogs are the dogs that are out front. And you can either, some teams will use a lead dog and have only one lead dog, and other teams will use 2 lead dogs. And I suppose there's benefits to either way. They'll rotate dogs in and out of the position, the lead dog position. If they have more than several lead dogs that are working, but just in different positions, they might put a different lead dog in there, depending on what's going on. If maybe your lead dog's not running like you want it to, so you might change them out. Your lead dogs are going to be the ones that are going to set your pace. They set the running pace and keep them on track. So if you have a dog that's not responding and not keeping up the pace, you're going to probably want to rotate him around. Or her. The lead dogs also respond to commands, and basically generally will act as the musher's right hand. Your right hand man, basically. To be a lead dog, it requires quite a bit of intelligence, obedience. Obedience big time, because they have to be able to listen to commands and respond to the directional command that the musher gives him or her. Also, besides being obedient, like I mentioned before, intelligence, being able to know, be smart, be wise, to be able to be in the lead position. And then running in lead condition probably requires the most emotional stamina of all the positions. They have to be willing to be chased by their teammates, which can be intimidating by some types of dogs. Some dogs will simply refuse to be a leader, and they'll just put their tail between their legs and just not move. They don't want to be in that leading position, and so they'll get moved out. So that's why it's important that you test them around while you're training. Check them out here as lead dogs, point dogs, wheel dogs, and try to figure out what position that they do the best in. Okay? So that's your lead dog. These are picked through a process, kind of a trial and error, and they're going to look for these rare qualities of the emotional stamina, the intelligence. And for lead dogs, this is kind of a little statement. Most lead dogs are born; they're not made. It's tough to turn somebody and say, "I'm going to make this dog a lead dog." It can be tough. Okay, a good running dog is enthusiastic, very cooperative. Some mushers say that some of the best sled dogs are females. Check that out, boys. The females are the best dogs, they say. So those are your 2 ones in the front. We're gonna move down a position. All right, to what they call the point dogs. All right, point dogs, and this would be an easy one to be able to figure out where they are as well. The point dogs are directly behind the lead dogs. Okay, directly behind the lead dogs, so that's an easy way to figure out. Some mushers will put substitute lead dogs in that point dog position, or even dogs that they're trying to get trained and turn into a lead dog. Help them gain that experience. So the point dogs will respond to voice commands. Okay, just like the lead dogs, they respond to voice commands. Maybe they have to fix a mistake. Maybe the lead dog did the wrong thing, and the point dog responded to the voice command the correct way, so they might be fixing a mistake that the lead dog made. And again, like I said before, they're possibly trying to gain experience for those dogs that are, going to be a good lead dog, but just need that experience, so they put them in the point dog position. All right, so your point dogs are next in line. After the point dogs are what they call wheel dogs. The wheel dogs aren't, okay, so I just said after the point dogs are the wheel dogs, so the wheel dogs aren't directly after the point dogs. The wheel dogs are right in front of the sled. Okay, directly in front of the sled. They are called wheel dogs because how close they are to the vehicle, which is the sled, and so that's why they will definitely be called wheel dogs. If you're wondering where it got the name, they're bred and usually chosen because they have this big, their strength, their stamina, and the wheel dogs in the kennel that they're bred in and grow up in are typically your best athletes at the kennel. Dogs in this position typically are going to be young male dogs. They have to have quick reflexes because they are affected by the movement of the sled because they are right there. So that's why they're going to put two young guys, males of that position. They're too immature to lead, so they're back here. Being young and immature, putting them in the wheel position, they really can't do much harm here. So that's why they are put here if they're younger and more immature. The last group of dogs is the rest of the dogs. So you've got the lead dogs and point dogs up front. You've got the wheel dogs back by the sled, and the rest of them in the middle we call swing dogs or team dogs. Okay? We typically probably call them swing dogs more. They make up the rest of the lineup and the bulk of the team. So middle of the lineup. So I got a short video here I'm going to show you. Give you a minute to finish writing that up. Nope, not that one. There it is. Same girl kennel. I want to play this in full screen. Here we go.
You talked about changing leaders around varying conditions or situations. What about the team dogs? Do you move them around like your wheel dogs or your main the team? Would they pretty much stay where they are, or?
Around 1,000 miles, no, I'll probably move them around periodically. Just kind of who's. I like dogs to run with partners who have the same kind of enthusiasm as they do. I think that helps not only while they're running, but also while they're resting. So if dogs, are really sassy and ready to rock and roll, you really don't want to put them next to a dog who's a mellow type personality. Can you imagine sitting, in a movie next to someone for an hour and 45 minutes while they yap and talk and close and trotted, and all you really want to do is sit there and watch the movie? So I like to put them next to dogs that are, mesh. But you have to remember that the race, 8, 9, 10 days, and so dogs are just like people, and their mental state of mind is going to change a little bit throughout the race. And so as they change, I just have to monitor that and make sure that they're coupled with appropriate dogs.
Alright. That's all I got for you today for team dogs. If there's extra time, we'll be watching that video. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Later. Shush.